Hello and welcome to Design Inc. and this video on tracking time directly in Notion. If you're new here, my name is Joanne and I'm an interior designer and content creator, creating content especially for interior designers so that they can supercharge their businesses. I create content on branding, interior design processes, and Notion. As tracking your time is incredibly important for an interior designer for two reasons. Firstly, we want to know how long it actually takes us to complete our task. And secondly, it allows us to charge our clients accurately. I previously posted a video on Harvest, a time tracking app that many designers use. It includes a lot of functionality, including the ability to produce invoices, track expense claims, and so on. However, if you're a smaller interior designer or you'd like to track time directly into Notion, then this is the video for you. I'll leave a link for the video on Harvest in the description, but if you want to track your time for free in Notion, then follow along. I've created a basic template which you can duplicate into your existing Notion workspace. If you don't have an existing Notion workspace, you can take a look at my series on videos called Notion for Interior Designers, where I build a workspace completely from scratch. You can easily link this time tracking template into your workspace by connecting your actions or task database and your project database. So without further ado, let's jump into the screen share and I'll show you how to use it. So you'll be able to duplicate this Notion template. So the first thing you need to do is we'll just take a look at the template first, and you will see these two buttons. And so this is the buttons that you use to start a session and end a session. And if we have a look at these buttons, what it actually does is when the button is clicked, it adds the page to the time tracking database. And so you'll change the name of this to whatever you'd like. And we're going to have the start time being now, and we change the status to active. So there's other properties that you can actually make sure that you have updated if you wish. So once we've done that, let's just have a look at the stop button. And so this is the reverse. So we're going to edit this particular page. So whatever page was started in this section, it will automatically know. And when you press the button, it will put the end time to now and the status as ended. So now that we know how to use the buttons, this is the database. Now this is a view of the database. The database is actually held here. Now you can see that you could go into the database there and update it, but I really don't like to do that because in any Notion workspace, it's important to know where your database is. And this is mainly because you don't want to accidentally delete information. So the worst thing that you can do is to actually delete a database. So I always have a linked view of a database that I use to work on. And this means that I can add properties and I can hide properties and so on, and really control what I am looking at. So this is a linked view of the database that's down here. And you can see there's a test product here or a test page here. And all I did was I started the session, and then when I was done, I ended the session. And you can see here, it went for a period of 3 minutes. So let's have a look at the formula. And the formula is very simple. It is so we've got this date between, then we look at the end time and we look at the start time. So these are the end time and the start time, and we calculate it in terms of minutes. So if we have a look, we can see it's 3 minutes here. And I've created a calculation here. So what we'll do, we'll add in all the minutes in this table. Now, the next formula just takes these minutes and measures it in terms of hours and minutes. So for example, if you're doing a job for an hour and 30 minutes, it will show up as 1 hour 30. So let's just take a look at this formula. So you can see, so if the start time or this start time equals the end time, then it shows nothing. And then if it does show that, you can format the floor, which is the bottom of the date between, with the end time and the start time, which is minutes. We divide it by 60 to get hours. And then we format it again if the end time and the start time is minutes. And if it's a proportion of 60, then we show it as minutes. So you can see here, it's shown as 0 hours and 3 minutes. Now, you don't really have to know what these formulas are. You can just copy the formula that's in the template. Now, the next column talks about the duration. So what I want to know is how long is it as a proportion of an hour. So this is the percentage. So you can see, so I'm rounding the date between the end time and the start time in minutes. I'm divided it by 60 minutes and I'm multiplying it by 100 minutes, and then again dividing it by 100 minutes to get this decimal place. So basically this means it's 5% of an hour. So what this means is if you're calculating, if your hourly rate is $100 and then you know that this is a 5% of that $100, you might want to know exactly how much you should charge for that task. Now this is very precise. You might want to charge in terms of blocks of time, and that's easily done by creating another formula where you could multiply this time by your hourly rate. For example, let's say we add a new property. So we're going to add a new property here. So we're going to go here. So we've got a new property, which is, let's go to call it billable rate. Okay, so let's say we change this to a formula. And then what we're going to do is edit that formula. So we're going to multiply the duration time times, let's say your billable rate is 100. And then we've got that to, let's say our billable rate, you can see here it's now 5. So we change that to 50. And we hit done, you can see we charged that person for 5 minutes, $7.50. So I'm just going to delete this. Now, the other thing that you can do is if you have an action task, you can change this to a relation, and then you'll end up finding a particular action item. So you can see here I've got my action items here, and I can just relate it. So now you know how to implement this database within your existing Notion system. Let me know if you have any questions about it. I'll leave the link to the template in the description below, and see you in the next video.